Good evening, everyone. It's Christine here, and I'm joining in Thrifty Thursday. I'm actually making this video on Wednesday evening, but ready for Thrifty Thursday. And I wanted to share tonight some goodies that I got from Melanie, who's a lady here in Melbourne, Australia, who sells wonderful vintage fabrics and haberdashery, and she does it over Instagram. She just posts her various items, and then if you want one of them, you post sold on it, and then you can arrange to have it either sort of posted, or if you happen to be in Melbourne, you might be able to chat to her and see if you can pick up your goodies from her. And so I periodically just check her Instagram page, see what's on offer, and invariably I end up over a little period of time building up a wonderful bundle of goodies, which I then pick up. So I thought I'd show you my most recent pickup from her, which was a good few weeks ago now, but haven't had the chance to share. I'll post a link to her as well in the description of this video below. So before I get going, hope you're all doing well. Hope you're having a good week. I've just lost track of what the days are. Again, we've had a few things going on, but all is going well, which is good. So I'll update you on that as we go through. So first up, I got this really cute little framed tapestry of a little garden scene. Just bring it up so you can have a close look at that. So I may even end up taking it out of the frame. I'll probably enjoy it in its frame for a bit and then work out whether I incorporate it in one of my stitchery projects. Graphic all sorts made in Australia. I guess that's just the frame though. And then let me probably move a few of the bits and pieces out of the way and we'll have a look at them. She has she must have so many threads and things. Some of them are sometimes used partially. Some of them are sort of, unwrapped and sort of more in a bit of a bundle, like the ribbons that I'll show you in a moment. But it's just a great way. Oh, and this one even, I just noticed, has its own needle in it. So I might just put that over in my needle book over there. But let's take a look at these lovely luscious threads. And so it's a great way to get really interesting threads. So like this one, for example, is hand-dyed kakunda, hand-dyed embroidery threads, thick silk. And it's a really lovely lustrous gold colour. I'll just pop them back in the bag as I go. And then a variety of these look like perle, colour fast. So that's sort of thicker, and they're not one that you can break down into requisite sort of separate strands. It's not like an embroidery floss where you can go reduce it down and use it in either its full number of strands or you just down to one strand if you want. But beautiful, beautiful colours. So some good colours for flowers and things, some good colour for seascapes and beautiful purples, nice blues. So lots of great perle thread there, and I really love working with a perle, it's lovely. And then a big bundle of silk ribbons, which is fantastic because they are super expensive, and I think this bundle was about $10. Usually her things are, usually well under $10, $8, $10 is just an absolute bargain for this quantum of silk ribbons, and they're the really nice fine ones that you can do leaves and flowers with. So great to have the greens in there, some beautiful purples as well, and then lots of yellows as well, which could be great for like daffodils or daisies or other things. So I've been really wanting to have a good play. I've got some books on silk ribbon embroidery, so it would be great to be able to have a play and know that I'm not wasting really expensive materials. Well, not wasting them, and none of it's wasted, but it's kind of better to play with something where you haven't spent a fortune on it. And then she has obviously fabrics or tablecloths that she's used a portion of. So this is just a quarter, I guess, of a tablecloth, but then got the beautiful embroidery that you can either cut around sort of individual elements or use the larger element, and because it's already cut into, you don't feel bad about cutting it yourself. And you've also got the lovely crocheted edging on it as well. So that's super handy. I'll leave that as our base when we're looking at things. And then she has lots of laces and things, and vintage laces. This one feels really lovely. And it's got a really sweet little flower design, but it almost reminds me of churches. I'm not sure why. I think it's just those little, the little peaks and the little passion. So that's beautiful, and plenty of that, which is lovely. Don't have to hoard the tiny portion of that. I can definitely use it. And then some nice applique type silk flowers. And then a nice rose fabric. And again, these rose fabrics are fabulous for being able to add your stitching and sort of paint the roses with thread. And then this piece is nice because it's got this sort of border element that you can cut out and use that border element as well. And then, yeah, you've got a repeat. You've got another border element. And, yeah, then you've got the selvage edge. So it's called Whispers, Betty Wang licensed. So that's a nice piece. Let's fold that up. And then just in time for Easter, in fact, I'm glad I actually checked this pile. I'd forgotten I got this. I was actually looking at, I saw these little bunnies, I think actually on the sewing layer, and I was thinking, oh, well, won't I get them? But I've actually got a whole length, and being this cream colour, I can very easily dye this if I want them in other colours. So I'm going to actually keep that out and on hand because I'm working on a whole lot of little Easter projects at the moment. I might show you them at the end if you're interested. I say that as though you can answer back and say, yes, I'm interested. Well, I'll pop them at the end as long as I remember. And then a beautiful, very old, I can just tell because I'm not sure if you can see just how much the little fibres are wearing away. And just so it is super delicate. I'll bring it up on my hand. How lovely is that? It feels gorgeous. It feels gorgeous. So that will be lovely to incorporate into a background. It's already got so much character to it. And then we've got another one of these little applique ones. I'll find where did I put that? Oh, over there. And then some interesting, almost feels like an organza or something. Sorry, I just don't want to scuff up that little one below. And it's got transparent flowers, and again I was thinking I can sort of cut out components of it and use it in backgrounds. And then an interesting lace, reminded me of the seaside of shells, and it's in a nice I'm not even sure what colour to call it, sort of almost like a platinum or something. So that's pretty cool. And then some other pieces of vintage lace. Excuse the rustling. So this one is really sweet as well. And some of them, as you can see, have little age stains on them, but that all adds to the charm. Doesn't worry me at all when I'm using them in my slow stitch projects. This one's a really old lace. It's got quite a bit of age staining on it. Often that will actually come out if you wash them, if you're worried about it. Sometimes I like to keep the bits that are stained. It's got a piece of fluff on it. Which way does that go? That way, I think. So that's a pretty lovely piece of vintage, little fragment of vintage lace. Another very old one by the age stains, and that feels like feels like a handmade lace, I think. And then another beautiful one that I think is the same as that first one. That was just a little bag of lace goodies, and I think they were like $2, $3. Very good value. Now this one, Melanie does a lot of Suffolk puff or yo-yo disassembled quilts, and so they're actually really nice and small-ish sized ones. I can make smaller ones myself, but they're beautifully aged, and just all different patterns, and they'll be great to have on hand. I can just sort of separate them out and use them in my slow stitch projects. So I got a couple of lots of these. Sometimes I even forget what I've actually bought off Mel, and then yeah, I might get another one of them. It's so funny. Sometimes she'll list one piece of fabric, and then when that goes, she'll list another, and sometimes I end up posting sold on something that I've actually just bought the previous day. And then she just has sometimes little scrap, sort of scrap packs, or just scraps of fabric really, that she lists for a few dollars. And so this has lots of lovely, beautiful, beautiful ones in here. They remind me actually a bit of the Lucello fabrics. So they're very nice. And then this lovely one. I'm a sucker for anything with birds on it, and birds and flowers. It's like, yep, count me in on that. And then another lovely piece of rosy fabric, and another rosy one. You can tell I am a sucker for the flowers too. And then this one I thought was just really beautiful. It's got a really intricate pattern with leaves and branches, but all in different colours. So what a fantastic background that would be for something. Oops, stuck to the fabrics. And then these, and again, I had actually forgotten that I'd got these, and probably just in time to be thinking about how I can use them for my Easter table. Oops, no scrap on that one. And so these are, she cuts them out of what she calls cutter quilt. So it's old quilt that she then, yeah, cuts little bunnies out. So I think I've seen Sarah and Rachel use these in some of their slow stitch projects. So they are very cute. It's good. You can kind of either use the plain underside, or you can, yeah, use the decorative side. But this one, I love this one in particular, because it's got the cross stitch patterns on it. So I'm going to keep out my bunnies so I don't forget about them. And then this one, which is a, yeah, really intricately done piece. And I think that was, yeah, a few dollars. So again, could incorporate that into something. And then a bit of tapestry style, but it feels like a linen. Again, flowers, you can tell what I love. And then this one, really lovely fabric. I'm not sure if this is a William Morris, or doesn't have a name on it, but it kind of reminds me of that. And then a little handkerchief. It's got a little stain on it, but it's got the sweetest little embroideries, which will be really lovely to cut out. And even on these corners, it's just got the tiniest little flower embroideries. So they are super, super sweet. And then you've got some lovely fabric to use as well. And then got a lovely piece with, sorry, I'm just folding it out so you can see it, just trying to not knock the camera stand. Get rid of that thread. So some beautiful baskets. Again, that would be really lovely to do a whole lot of over stitching on. Would even be nice for something for Easter, but I think I've got my tasks cut out for me for my stitching before Easter, so maybe for another Easter. Just pop that there. And then some beautiful cheesecloth, but printed with roses on it. So there's two pieces of that. And some more beautiful old lace, super old. And it's actually crocheted, so yeah, handmade crochet lace, just incredible. And some other lovely flower fabric, and then some threads. I'll need to put those with my other bundle of thread. So stranded silk in variegated colour, which is lovely. Let's put that over here. And then lastly, but far from leastly, we have, and I might need to bring you up a smidge, this beautiful tiny patchwork book cover. And I actually got this, Melanie's a member, or actually I think she's, yeah, some sort of the organisation of the Victorian Embroiderers Guild, and they got, I think, gifted a whole range of quilted goodies, which they then sold to fund their activities. And this was one of the ones. But it's a book cover that is just made from these beautiful tiny little hexagons. So much work in that. It's clearly been a very well loved book cover, but just absolutely gorgeous. I think I might have to use it as an actual book cover, because I don't think I can bear to chop it up. So I'll have to find a precious book that I can put inside, or probably actually, given the size doesn't look like that regular of a book size, I might make my own little journal. Can even make my own little stitchery journal to note crafty things in. So that's super sweet. I'll let you have a closer look. That would have taken a lot of time to do that, I imagine. Super cute. So that is all of my Melanie goodies that I managed to pull out. I had probably looked through and taken a few other things out, but that gives you a bit of a flavour of what she has on offer. And then I mentioned I would show you, and there are separate videos on these, but these are my little projects I'm working on for Easter. So I've got these little snippet rolls that I am making for the table for the ladies coming to our Easter lunch. And this one's for my little niece Emily Rose, where I've spelled out her name on this little dolly peg, and the snippet roll is actually then the dress of the little doll. So I've got a separate video talking through how I've done that one, and it basically all just winds up like I'm doing here to make the dress of the little doll. And then I've got this little dongly bit that tucks under the ribbon and holds it closed, because Emily Rose is a youngish, not super young now, she's grown up so much over the last few years, but I just didn't want to have a pin or anything holding it closed. And then this is one I've made for my nephew. So for the boys, I'm making little flags that will then be able to hang up by a hanger or clip onto something via the dolly peg. So this is one for Bailey, who loves horses. And then this is one work in progress. It's got my thread hanging out of it and pins sticking in it. And this one's for Lachlan, who also loves horses. They've got horses at home in Western Australia. So they're really fun and really easy to make. They take a little bit of time because of all the little elements, but I should have them all done for Easter for our 13 guests, 13 guests including us, for Easter Day. So if you are interested in those, you can check out a video on each of those, and I'll come back when I'm all done and share the finished product. And I'm also playing around with, let me just grab it, but this probably won't be, well, this won't be for Easter, is little fabric boxes. What I'm still working out, I think in my next version of these, I'll actually probably put a little bit of cardboard in the sides to hold them straighter, and probably a bit of cardboard in the base so it's sturdy. I can add a piece of cardboard into the base so it is a bit sturdier. And I can also then, if I have the cardboard in, I might not need to sew down the endy bits, but this is all hand stitched. And it's just been me playing around again with fabrics that I got from the reverse art truck. So fabric samples. These ones are beautiful Italian cotton and linen samples. I thought this was cute because it looked like little Easter eggs. But it's a fun design. I was thinking it could also make a little pouch as well. And it's kind of cool because it does go flat. So if you were traveling somewhere but then wanted somewhere you can put your threads in, for example, which is what I've had sitting in there, and then easily, yeah, pick it up. It's a good little idea. So that's a work in progress. We had a really good day yesterday in that Alex went for his next heart stress test, and it went really well, and they confirmed that his medication is working to provide protection for his heart. So that is super. They're still super keen that he have the other tests and diagnostics done to work out what is really happening. But the good news is that he is, based on what they've told us, in a safe space as long as he keeps taking his medication. So thank you to everyone who's been thinking of him and thinking of us and providing support. It means a great deal. And thanks to everyone who's left comments or subscribed. Just, yeah, brings a big smile to my face, and it's a nice way in that you can then be notified when new videos go up. I'll always be thinking up new ideas to share. And I just love having my stitching buddies virtually joining in with me for things and sharing comments. It's just so nice to connect to people across the world and hear what you're up to and share a little glimpse into our lives here, the good, the bad and the ugly. But I hope you are all doing well. I hope you're looking forward to potentially some nice time with family and friends as we approach Easter. And I will see you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.